It is time for the next unboxing of this month's JDM Bento subscription box. This is the February box. We are going to dive through it. If you don't want to know what's inside, this is your warning. If you want to dive down and take a look at what you're going to get in the box, if you're a subscriber, or just want to learn about some cool baits and maybe how to use them, this will be a fun episode. Let's have a good time and take a peek, shall we? Let's go. Welcome to the Hookup Tackle.
What a stud.
Yeah. Look at that.
That was sick.
Woo!
Cheers, my friends. Happy Sunday. All right, guys, some breaking news. What's new this week at the Hookup Tackle?
What a beautiful post-spawn fish.
Look at that.
Look at that gut on that.
That's a nice fish.
Welcome, my friends. I am Ben with the Hookup Tackle, Tackle Otaku on Instagram, being joined by my buddy Jeffrey the King. Jeff, happy morning to you, sir.
Happiest of the mornings.
How are you today?
Fantastic as always.
That's great to hear. Would you like to play with some tackle?
I like to see what you have.
All right. This is the February unboxing of our JDM Bento box. This is our subscription box that we do. It's a monthly box, $100 box, $100 worth of tackle. It is designed to let me kind of play with some different Japanese tackle and build boxes each month to kind of be your shopper for the month. The star of every box, of course, is a Megabass Edo Vision 110 and Pop Max that they do a limited run for us just for this box. So, you know, if you hate the tackle that I've chosen for you, you're going to always get a limited 110 and Pop Max. But I'm looking at you. You better not hate this. It's good stuff. Put my blood, sweat, and tears into this. So we're just going to unbox this and show you guys what is coming now. This month's box has kind of a theme, okay? And that theme is pre-spawn. So sometimes we do some themes, and sometimes we just make a hodgepodge of stuff and just go play and have fun. So this month, I can't get this time of the year out of my head. I want it to be warm. I want fish to start doing things that aren't winter and stupid live scope. Like, I want to go have some fun, right? So pre-spawn is just stuck in my head. So I kind of built this around. Now, when I think of pre-spawn, I think spinnerbait, I think swim bait, I think chatterbait, jerkbait, right? Thus, the box creation. Okay, so here we go. Are you ready? First item everybody is going to get is one of my favorite new soft swim baits. This is from Raid Japan. This is the Raid Osakana Slide 170, and you're going to be getting it in our custom color, Game Over. Okay, so this is a color that we designed with Raid. It's essentially kind of like an albino pearl shad, French pearl, kind of old school pearl blend. Right? So, you know, we basically just borrowed off colors that we have always had success with, and we combined them into one and turned it into the Osakana Slide. So let's start with the bait itself. So the Osakana Slide 170 is 170 millimeters. It's a 2-ounce glide bait, but let me just preface and say it throws more like a 1-ounce glide bait. I feel like this and the 6-inch mag draft almost throw the same for me. And the 6-inch mag is like 1.25 ounces, I want to say. So even though it's heavier, it fishes very similar. You can throw it on a lot of the same rods. Now, this is a single jointed actual glide bait that you can throw, and with your reel or your rod, you can get this bait to maneuver and have these sharp turns and glides. If you just cast it and wind it straight, it's going to have kind of just a real lazy kind of S motion to it. Okay, so the magic to this is getting it to actually walk subsurface underwater. Now, if you guys are new to glide bait fishing, or maybe you have a lot of experience with hard glides, let me say that the smaller the glide you go, and especially true with these soft glides, the smaller your cranks and movements need to be. Now, I throw this on like a Mark 56 or the Raid Diffuser. Those are kind of the two rods that I go back and forth with. A Steez A 8-5-1. Okay, so the reason I'm telling you that is I like that high gear ratio reel, and all I have to do is literally like maybe a third turn of the handle or even maybe a half turn, and that's enough to get this thing to move side to side. If I go a full turn with it, it rolls it. Okay, so if you'll practice with it, throw it out there, just start turning your handle maybe half a crank, and you should see this bait just walk side to side. This is what you want. You want the bait to do this. If you're getting anything else, you're probably turning the handle too far or jerking the rod too much, and it's just too much and it doesn't have anywhere else to go, so it's gonna just start blowing out. So once you kind of get your timing down, all will be well. Now the magic with the Osakana slide is it's a line through system. Okay, so meaning that you're going to put your line through the nose of the bait, and it's gonna come out the bottom of the bait, and then you're gonna tie your hook on, and it's going to slide up, and this hook will notch in there on the inside, and then you can use this stinger hook. You can either attach it straight into the plastic, you can fold it under these fins, or you can take that stinger hook off too, if you want to. Okay, so this is all kind of still, I would say, this soft glide movement that we're kind of saying, kind of still under development, I would say. There's still a lot of things that we don't know about these and that we're learning as we're throwing. So play with hooks, and you're gonna wanna play with your hook set. The one thing that I have noticed is that if you get bit, when they eat this thing, it's gone, right? But the way these soft glides, when they get it, they fold. If you jerk too quick or too hard, like you normally would set the hook on a hard glide, because of how it folds, a lot of times it just pulls right out of its mouth, and it's a line through, so it's kind of pulling in a weird way, and you'll be amazed how fast you don't hook a fish. So when they eat it, I want you just to kind of just keep winding and just let it load up, and then those hooks are super sticky. So when they eat it and they have time to exhale and turn, and you just put pressure on them, those hooks will find the mouth, and you guys will hook them and land them, okay? So patience, but have a good time. This is gonna come as a floating bait, right? So it will start to take on a little bit of water in some of these little holes, and it will turn into maybe a super, super slow float, almost to suspend. If you wanna weight it, and I'm just gonna throw this out there, I'm probably gonna piss some people off, you're gonna start seeing a lot more of this bait in a lot of like Bassmaster Live type things. A lot of guys have figured out how to weight this and scope with it, okay? Not my favorite thing to do. I want to throw it at shallow cover. I want to skip it under a dock. And the skipability of this bait, by the way, is incredible. It skips really, really good. But guys are starting to figure out where to weight it with nail weights and different things and sink it down on the scope. And now they have a bait that they can walk left and right that those fish aren't seeing, and they're smoking them. Okay, so play with it, try different things, use it. Game over, custom color to us, so I think no matter where you are in the country, you're gonna catch them. So there you go. There's bait number one, Osakana slide. By the way, 16-pound fluoro is what I've found to be perfect. Jeff, you've thrown this a lot. Are you in that same?
Yeah, 16's the best for the bait. If you go too heavy, it starts to get a little wonky.
Yeah, yeah. So same with a 6-inch mag draft for me. You?
Yeah,
yeah.
same exact thing.
So 16 is kind of the magic number, but again, you guys can play with that as well. So there you go. There's bait number one. All right, bait number two is actually a combo. Okay, it's kind of a 1-2 punch. Now, this is a kind of a return. So if you guys have been with our subscription box for a while, you would have received this combo a year and a half or so ago. But it is the #1 most asked about bait that we've put in a box that guys can't get. Okay, so we wanted to do it again and drop it in here. Okay, bait number two is from the relatively new Bumblebee Lures company. They've only been out for a couple years, but the Bumblebee B-Blade and Blade Stick combo. Okay, now, we talked about this last week because we did a chatterbait style last week as well. It's one of the fun things about this bento box. It lets me kind of play and drip you guys some stuff that maybe we can't necessarily sell here in the US. The B-Blade is a very popular blade in Japan, and most of you guys that actually used this when you got it in the previous bento smoked them on it. And so I'm glad I can get it back to you. It's built incredibly well. It's got, you know, Ryugi hook, hand-tied skirt. It's just gonna give you a slightly different look underwater than a jackhammer. Now the blade stick is a soft plastic bait that's designed specifically to go with this. You don't have to use this. Of course, you can put whatever trailer you want, but I wanted to at least get you guys the trailer that's designed to go with the bait. A lot of guys, you can use this blade stick the same way you would a doe live stick as well. So if you want to fish it like a Senko or a fluke, you can. A lot of guys are putting this style bait on a range roller head or a horizon head and using it as a mid-stroll bait as well, and that tail really gives it a good movement subsurface. So lots of stuff that you can do with both of these products, but you know, I love a chatterbait this time of the year. So there you go. There is bait number 2. All right, bait number 3. I always think spinnerbait when I think spring, shallow cover, right? So the #1 most liked spinnerbait in Japan. So Lure Magazine just did a poll. Did you see that episode where they asked their readers to rate their favorite lure categories? Their favorite rod, their favorite reel, favorite swim bait, right? Spinnerbait category, the bottom up Beeble. Yep. So the bottom up Beeble, the #1 most popular spinnerbait in Japan. It actually won Lure Magazine's Lure of the Year last year, right? That was voted on by like professionals. So now you have professionals voting for it, you have customers voting for it. So we decided to drop one into your box. Now, depending on which box you get, there's some Beebles. There's some ChiBeebles. I grabbed a couple different boxes here just so I could see different colors. Some of you guys will get shad colors. Some of you guys will get reds or chartreuses. So we did a variety, right? So hopefully you get a color that you guys can use. They're all good colors, okay? So essentially what the Beeble is, just so that you can see it, we'll just open this one up here really quick, is the Beeble and the ChiBeeble are the same. The ChiBeeble is just the smaller version. Okay, so some of these, and again, I know a lot of you guys fish from shore, fish from ponds, some of you guys bigger lakes, so I just mixed and matched different weights, different sizes, different colors, just to give you guys a variety. So essentially what the Beeble and ChiBeeble do is it is a compact spinnerbait that features this almost chatter style blade in the front. So when the water resistance hits it, it gives it a little bit of a very tight vibration just to mix up what the fish are feeling and sealing. It gives a little bit of flash, but a little bit different vibration to a spinnerbait. It also helps hold these blades in place, so it's got a lot of durability to it. So you can boat flip fish, you can bank flip fish, you can jack them out of cover, and those wires, that wire doesn't really bend or break. It's got a lot of versatility and a lot of durability to it. So I think you guys will find that you're going to catch a ton of fish on it. It's a really fun spinnerbait to add to the arsenal. There's also 2 different blade combinations. There's a tandem willow and a double willow, and again, I just kind of mix those up as well. When do you throw a Colorado willow versus 2 willows? If you need a little extra vibration, you add the Colorado. If you want just a little bit more flash, you can do the double willows. That's generalization on all spinnerbaits. They're both great combos for this time of the year. So there you go. Bait number 3 is a Beeble from Bottom Up. All right, Jeff, and that brings us to the star of our show, our 110 in Pop Max for the month. Now, this is a cool color. All right, this is a color I've been trying to get them to do and run for me for a couple years, and we finally got them to do it. This color for me bridges that natural and crazy and kind of combines them into the perfect bait, right? So if you guys have been around this long enough, you know that sometimes the colors are crazy, sometimes they're, you know, super subtle, sometimes they're in between. For me, this is kind of an in-between, more towards the natural. Okay, so usability, super high on this one. And it's just the perfect spring color for me when I think of jerkbaits and topwaters, okay? So, here you go. This month's color is Gerbera. Let's take out that 110 and let's take a look. Now, this color combines a bunch of different shades. So, essentially, you've got kind of like a GP Pro, I'm gonna say pinkish purple. Okay, it's not quite like a GP Pro Blue side. The sides are similar to GP Pro Blue, but it's more of like a lightish, purplish pink hue. It fades up to kind of an illusion copper top that kind of has a color shifting, and then it has that kind of morning dawn pink belly to it. So the overall color is very kind of morning dawnish, but you get just a little bit of natural kind of brown on the back, and you get that little bit of pink pop on the belly, so you get a little bit of triggering color, but mostly natural, and then of course the red eye. It's just a super sick color. It's a color that they're not seeing anybody else throw in a 110. If you're a collector, this will be a highly collectible color because you hardly ever see it in the Megabass color ring, but it's a beautiful color for me. I'll show you guys the Pop Max as well. Pop Max, it looks amazing. They did it with that kind of pink hit on the back, so again you're getting that pink belly. You can see as it fades up, you maybe see it even more in the Pop Max, how it's kind of that, you know, GP pinkish purple to that brown back. Looks really just amazing. So there you go, the February limited color Cabera is in your hands right now, or I'm teasing you, one of those two things. But there is the February color. I hope you guys love it. All right, guys, that is a wrap. I hope you guys love your February bento box. I had a blast putting it together for you. If you have questions on anything that I put in this box, drop it down below, and I will get questions to you, whether it's, you know, colors, rigging, how to use, any of that stuff. I will get answers for you. We'll put links to some of these products that you can get. Well, actually, only couple of the ones that we talked about can you get. The other ones are going to be exclusive to the box, but you know, keep your eyes open. Maybe sometime down the road some of this will eventually open up. So guys, on behalf of myself and Jeff and everybody here at the Hookup Tackle, guys, thank you for your support. Thank you for your business. Thank you for being a box subscriber. We will see you again in March. I got an exciting one coming for you. It's gonna piss some flippers off. Peace, my friends.